Heavyweight Championship. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's get it on!
Aggressive is the approach that Randleman wants to take.
One thing I'm going to observe about Bas Rutten weighing nearly at a middleweight, 203 pounds. He came in heavier for his last fight. I really felt he thought conditioning was important. He was impressed by Randleman's ability to go the whole route against Smith, but I also feel he feels conditioning is something he wants on his side. And I think him coming in this trim, this lean, is indicative that he wanted to be as efficient as possible.
Randleman takes him down hard. Bas has him in his guard.
Well, he walked up to him trying to go ahead and land big punches. Randleman flurrying here almost uncontrollably.
Trying to overwhelm him with that 15 pounds of strength. Bas Rutten not really taking a big shot there.
He did well, keeping his arms up, keeping them crossed in front of his head so the punches couldn't come straight down. And it was difficult for him to come from the side.
Kevin will admit his weakest point, and he is a good fighter all around, but his weakest point is the ability to submit.
That would be true. He's probably not got a lot, he probably doesn't possess a lot of submission tactics. Against maybe an inexperienced MMA individual he can catch, but not with the likes of a Bas Rutten. He would have to catch Bas Rutten somehow and stun him in order to sink a good submission lock.
If he does go for a submission, Kevin told me, Jeff, and I know you know this being a wrestler, he wouldn't want to give up position and go for a leg. He would try to do it with a choke or something on the upper body.
I'm sure he would probably do that. He doesn't want the fist to be free to go ahead and hit at him.
Bas Rutten, very respectful of this young man, Kevin Randleman, who has a tremendous bit of God-given ability, but so does Bas Rutten. Mark Coleman in the corner, once again, of Kevin Randleman.
And again, it looks as though Rutten's doing a nice job of deflecting the punches, but that elbow coming straight down is catching him just a little bit, but it's not really a vicious or powerful blow.
Coleman yelled from the corner, elbow to the midsection, and Randleman has gotten two. Now on the face again, the bridge of the nose is cut. The bridge of Bas Rutten's nose is cut.
He could actually go ahead and knee right here to the head of Bas Rutten. Rutten brings that elbow up to stop the punch. That leaves the side of the head open for the knee.
Now remember, in the matchup between Bas Rutten and Tsuyoshi Kosaka, much of it took place on the mat. Rutten avoided many flurries, was patient, and then won in overtime.
And Rutten got to the half guard. That's probably what he's going to try to do, wear the bigger fighter out. It's a smart tactic. However, how much do you have to pay a price to get that reward?
The crowd reacts to Kevin Randleman's aggressiveness.
Rutten looking for an armbar quickly.
Now Rutten striking from his back. They glance off the top of the head of Kevin Randleman, though. Oh, a big left!
Watch Rutten punch from the bottom. That left was more kind of like a karate chop coming down than it was really a good, powerful punch. It's tough to punch from the guard, especially when the man's extending you. Look at you get the knee up in there now. There's another punch by Rutten there. Right now it's all been Randleman, though. He's controlled the action with the takedown. He's been the dominant force.
Cut on the bridge of the nose. Does not appear to be very large, or John McCarthy would have stopped it to get it checked at this time. But the question I have for you, Jeff, when a cut opens in that spot, does it affect the fighter's sight?
It certainly can. From the bridge of the nose, especially if Randleman's arm comes down and smears it, can push it into the eye socket and affect that vision. Rutten doing what he can to maintain position here and try to get back into a guard situation here. Nice knee by Randleman.
Kevin showing very good versatility. 29-inch thighs on the physique of Kevin Randleman.
Vertical jump, incredible.
Rutten was trying to get something going on a potential choke, and Randleman just on pure strength able to avoid it. Rutten left himself exposed again. Now he turns, shows his back.
He's daring Randleman to come up. It looks as though he's baiting him to come up to his neck. Randleman staying down below and low. This is almost a classic wrestling match here, leg in with Randleman. And Randleman there, not biting, just keeping good position, not extending himself or putting himself into the...
They are going to check the cut. That is what they are doing right into it.
Well, he's got the heart of a champion.
Are you ready? Get back to that corner, all the way back. Let's go. Go back to your corner. You ready to go?
I like John McCarthy. He keeps control in the octagon. And yes, Rutan showing the heart that has led him to become a champion in many different disciplines in martial arts, electing to continue despite what appears to be a broken nose. But he did get a break. He got stood up, and that puts him back into what he feels is
delivered a good left kick, but Randleman right down again. Now Rutan. Some rabbit punches to the right midsection of Kevin Randleman.
Randleman's lats are so big. I wonder how much damage that could possibly do.
Now Boss is well versed in patience. He's trained with Pedro Hizzo, Marco Huas, Mark Kerr. And then you've got another great heavyweight, Mark Coleman on the other side. And we have well documented the influence he has had on young Kevin Randleman. Kevin's debut impressive against Maurice Smith on his son Calvin's birthday. Calvin 11 now.
Oh, and Boss sneaking in a few punches. Boss is tough here. If you bring your head up, he'll take swings at you.
Now the one rap, if you will, on Mark Coleman in the past has been his loss of conditioning 7 or 8 minutes in, Jeff. And Boss Rutan said it. This is not my quote. This is what Boss said. Kevin Randleman is Boss Rutan with better conditioning. But Kevin Randleman has also worked very hard these 6.5 minutes.
Well, Kevin Randleman does appear to be a Mark Coleman with great conditioning. And he has flurried pretty hard up to this point, but he's maintaining pretty good control. This kind of a situation here where he gets to put a knee down and extend the leg, he's not using a lot of muscular effort to keep himself up, and that's what I think Boss has to force him to do, is get up on the toes so he's holding everything with muscle, burning a lot more energy. Rutan here seems to have stopped the flurrying of Randleman. Randleman's not punching the way he was in those first 6 minutes.
Has Rutan done something to stop it, Jeff?
I think it's a combination of both. Those punches that he's delivering now affect Randleman. And the second is Randleman flurried. And in that flurry, did he punch himself out? Now he's coming back again, and those are uncontrolled punches. They're flailing. So Randleman really needs to kind of concentrate, focus on, precision punching.
Trap his arm, Kev.
You can hear Mark Coleman and his passion for Kevin Randleman, telling him to trap the arm.
Well, we've seen Boss hooking on the wrist a little bit. You got to wonder, he tried an arm bar earlier. Will he go back to it again? He nearly had it. But then Randleman's so strong and powerful in the great position. There again, looking for it. Randleman, though, able to maneuver out. Good counter, now has a side mount.
Work it through.
If Kevin starts to think more than be instinctive, could that work as a disadvantage because of the ability for Boss to work submissions?
Only if he stops moving. Only if he stops moving. The worst thing he can do, and I think back to like Kevin Jackson against Jerry Bolander. He went and put his head down on the chest, tried to take a little bit of a blow, stopped moving, and as soon as he did that is when Bolander rolled up on the back of his shoulders, started hunting for that armbar. Likewise, Randleman doesn't want to lay there. Rutan will take advantage of that.
Boss Rutan and Kevin Randleman, the pace is slowed. The chess game has begun.
Rutan has one thing in his back pocket that he knows. Both overtimes will start on their feet.
He avoided a huge flurry and suffered a broken nose. A punch delivered to the face of Boss Rutan by Kevin Randleman. Rutan from Holland, Randleman from the Buckeye State, Ohio.
Well, we're rolling down here to about 2.5 minutes left in the regulation period, and at that point, they could be stretched up. Stood up.
Little more than 2.5 minutes.
You're right, it's 15 minutes. It's not 12, it's 15.
And remember, in the matchup before, though, as you mentioned, the stand-up in the overtime period is when Rutan, who took some shots from Tsuyoshi Kasaka, turned his game on. So now is the momentum, if you will, starting to turn towards Boss Rutten.
And Rutten staying very active here, continues to punch from the bottom. It seems that Randleman here will throw 2-3 punches in a huge quick flurry. And if he doesn't score, stops punching.
Well, Boss has said he doesn't think that he can submit me. And now they wipe off Boss Rutten again. And clean up the cut as the activity started to deaden. And so John McCarthy stands the two fighters back up. Coleman and Rutten ready to go. Once again, the regulation period continues. Let's see what Boss does here, Jeff.
Well, he'll continue to try to strike. I wonder if he'll try a leg kick, though, only because Randleman caught it last time and took him down. He may want to try to work with his fists.
As much as Kevin Randleman wants the big knockout, he's got to be careful not to get overly aggressive and make a mistake that Boss Rutten can take advantage of.
That's correct. Watch for the knees now of Rutten. Watch for knees here.
So far, through 11 minutes, you could not ask for anything more in a heavyweight championship bout.
And up to now, it's basically been Randleman. He has controlled the action, most of it being on the ground, with him being able to strike.
We have not had a judge's decision rendered in tonight's UFC 20 so far. The three criteria for those of you at home: aggressiveness, striking, and grappling. Randleman clearly ahead, as was Tsuyoshi Kasaka in Boss's UFC debut. Boss Rutten has not lost a match in 3 years. And as you say, every time you've been around Kevin Randleman in a big matchup, he has also reigned victorious.
That's correct. That is definitely correct, and he seems to be doing very well here. Perhaps to keep up the punch count, he should continue to throw some punches. Because here, John McCarthy, if neither one are trying to improve position, the rule reads to stand him up, and Randleman is not doing anything. He's staying in the guard, using his hands to keep space. There's his first strike in a bit. Rutten able to survive. Pretty much now has neutralized the offense of Randleman down within his guard.
Patience will have to be continued to be displayed by Kevin Randleman. I'm not worried that much about Boss Rutten's patience because he's been in matches that have lasted hours in his career. 2 minutes and 15 seconds now remaining in our 15-minute regulation period. But it's Randleman who probably thought he had Rutten covered and sees it continuing with Rutten now using the elbow on the back of the head of Kevin Randleman.
It's the side of the head. He's coming in from the side.
Which is legal.
That's correct. You can see a couple cuts in the hair of Randleman, and those are from the punching and elbows of Boss Rutten. But you know what else is happening here? Look at the arms of Randleman. They're extended, they're out straight. That is definitely a setup for an arm bar. If Boss Rutten can somehow set it up, sneak him into it, fake him out, make him think of what he's not trying to do, he may catch Randleman here.
It's amazing to think that an arm that big could be barred, but with leverage it can. And here comes Rutten, continuing to punch the side of Kevin Randleman's head. Rutten again trying to set one up, and Randleman baiting him.
You can see Randleman now just kind of lifting his head just slightly to get a look to see where Rutten's head is so he can throw a punch. He knows if he brings his head up, he's going to get hit. Rutten probably the best we've seen in the UFC at striking from the back.
Final minute of regulation.
Open heels, open hand strikes using the heel of the hand.
Rutten's picking up some much-needed points here in these last couple of minutes, partner.
And it's because Randleman really has gone silent on his offense. And it seems that the crowd is behind Boss Rutten.
Now, you have to have great respect for a fighter to go through the early flurry of punches that Boss Rutten did and continue to battle. 2 warriors. And 20 seconds remaining before we go to our first of 2 3-minute overtime sessions. 10 seconds. It has been worth waiting all night for, waiting months for. The road to the heavyweight title will go to overtime. The fans are on their feet here at Boutwell Auditorium. A high kick misses Kevin Randleman.
Boy, he set that up too. Planted and came up with it. Randleman ready though. Well, it lets you know what Boss Rutan's thinking.
Remember the way he turned it on in overtime before. As spectacular a flurries we've ever seen in the UFC.
Well, they say Babe Ruth can call his pitch and pointed to the outfield. But Boss Rutan supposedly during the Kasaka fight said, let me know when there's a minute left. And when they yelled out a minute, finished the fight with those strikes.
How can he neutralize, though, working exclusively from his back here? Because Kevin is using his strength, his wrestling skills to take it back down to the mat.
He certainly is, and because of his wrestling background and that power and size he has, he's so difficult to stop from ripping your legs out. Boss had him up against the fence, felt, you know, he almost got to him one time, dropping down, getting his arm back under, but Randleman's power, once he gets one of your legs up in the air, is to lift and drop. And he's very effective at it. Most wrestlers are at this elite level.
Well, we asked Kevin Randleman what was the key to beating Boss Rutan yesterday. Oh! He replied, what's the key to beating Kevin? He doesn't think he can be beaten.
Another great attempt at an armbar there, and that one Randleman really had a struggle to get out of. And the power in those arms of Randleman, thick and short, make it very difficult to hang on to. Not to mention almost 17 minutes worth of sweat.
Under 90 seconds left, and again, the broken nose worked on by Kevin Randleman.
You wonder if Rutan should just continue to look for armbar and start some kind of rolling flurry where he may be able to find something there. Randleman, certainly his tactic right now is to control all the action, keep it in front of him, keep his opponent down, keep him away from the strength, which is his stand-up strikes.
Final minute of overtime number 1. Another 3-minute overtime will come after a 60-second rest period here. This is for the big belt, the most prestigious belt in all of mixed martial arts in all of the world, the UFC Heavyweight Championship. Years of blood, sweat, and sacrifice culminate in tonight's action. The ultimate proving ground for the ultimate in combat. 20 seconds remains in overtime number 1.
And Randleman dictating the pace and the place where this fight takes on its shape. It's really interesting here to see Randleman up that high, up on his toes, but unable to really launch any offense there. I think Rutan has closed the margin a bit because he's been able to come back with some strikes down there, but it's Randleman's game. Rutan is playing Randleman's game.
Let's see how long Boss can stay up on his feet where he's an effective master striker. Can he get a knockout punch in on Kevin Randleman? Does he need a knockout punch here?
He needs to dominate this 3 minutes if he has any chance of winning the fight.
Oh my, he delivered with the right foot. A big kick to the head of Randleman. Watch out. Could we see Boss explode? He's going to go for it, Jeff. He knows he's behind. He's going to leave it inside the gates. He missed there, and he's tied up by Randleman.
Randleman will drive him in and then try to rip the legs out.
That hurts Boss.
And this is probably where this fight's going to wind up ending. Unless Rutan here can come up with some kind of tactic to get Randleman off of him and allow him to get some kind of power strike there. He won't be able to do it with punches from his back, that is for sure.
Definitely landed that kick to the side of Kevin Randleman. But Kevin waited for his opportunity. Talk about about the strength and power. How about the quickness of Kevin? How quickly he can shoot and take his opponent to the mat.
Well, that's the ability of the wrestler. That's something that they should always be able to do, and that's something that, unfortunately, Mark Coleman in this fight, both against Maurice Smith and Pedro Hizo, was unable to do late in the fight. That's a lesson probably Randleman learned from Coleman.
Shamrock, Severn, Tektara, Buas, Fry, Coleman, Couture, who brought me tonight to reign victorious in the most prestigious division in Ultimate Fighting, the heavyweight division. Just over a minute remaining in the match. They have fought now for 20 minutes.
Might see an armbar attempt here again. Randleman gets it up on his legs and straightens one of those arms out.
If Kevin can stay busy and avoid the stand-up here in the last minute, he should close the book on this match against Root. 40 seconds. And they're right in Mark Coleman's face, which, believe me, is a motivating factor to Kevin Randleman. He absolutely idolizes Mark Coleman.
Certainly there won't be any loss for ideas on what to do with Mark Coleman there.
20 seconds. You got to go right now. 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Get busy, Kev. Finish strong. Finish strong, Kev.
And that certainly would be something Randleman would like to do, is finish strong. Put an exclamation mark on perhaps this, his greatest performance in the octagon.
2 seconds. 2 seconds.
It's over. 21 minutes. The heavyweight championship goes the distance. And the judges will now be in a position to render a decision. Skip Hall, Tim Catalfo, and Dan Miragliotta. What a wonderfully contested heavyweight championship bout between Kevin Randleman and the Rock from Holland, Bas Rutten.
Beautiful fight. Beautiful fight. That's a war right there. Nice job, baby.
Mark Coleman could be sitting next to me because everything he says is absolutely right. That was a war. Leon Tabs, veteran cut man, a legend in the boxing world, attending to our fighters against safety of the utmost concern always of our great competitors here at the Ultimate Fighting Championship. We waited months for the road to the heavyweight title to culminate. It has culminated here in Birmingham, Alabama. And the judges have rendered a decision. Remember one more time the criteria: aggressiveness, striking, and grappling. John McCarthy brings the fighters to the middle for the official decision on who the new heavyweight champion of the world will be. Here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a big hand for both these heavyweight warriors. We now go to the judges' cards for the decision. Beginning with Dr. Tim Catalfo, he scores it Randleman. Judge Hall scores it Rutten. And Judge Don Miragliotta scores it for the new